What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Buffalo Commander. I'm your host, Alex. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. As you can see here, we are looking at minicamp and OTA videos and highlights right here. I just want to put something on the screen other than my face so you could watch something and enjoy this while I talk about what's happened in minicamp this week and the last couple weeks with OTAs as well. First thing, I want to go over a couple negatives. Tyler Bass has looked absolutely awful. I'm hoping this is just a slump. Golfers happens to them sometimes too, where they just kind of get into a slump and they cannot get out of it. I'm hoping that's the case for Tyler Bass here, as it seems to be that missed kick at the end of the playoff game has carried over to camp. Could be a holding issue. They've been fumbling around with holders, trying to work different things out. They let go of Matt Hawk, but they have another guy in there from San Diego State holding for him too. So maybe it's some of that, but he went 1 for 4 the other day, had a 50-yarder and then missed a 35, a 45, and another 35. That's not good, especially for camp. But hopefully he gets out of it and gets out of his funk, and then, we can progress from there. Otherwise, he may be on the outside looking in 2025. I don't think it's going to happen this year because we don't have any options, but it could be on the table. The other thing is we've had some Josh interceptions out there. I think most of that is due to trying new things out, miscommunications, people slipping. Anytime you see it online, it's like Josh threw an interception. It was like Tyrell Shavers fell down, or miscommunication with Keon Coleman, who's still learning the playbook, right? So that's, I don't think, a super concerning thing for this time of year when they try things out. Training camp, as we get more information, maybe we see more. I've only heard of 1 touchdown throw in minicamp and OTAs, which seems odd. I just don't believe that's been the only one that's been thrown. Even though the offense hasn't looked great, they always have something. So we could just be not getting a whole lot of information, or they could be just tight-lipped about how good they look. But for most people say the offense has looked to struggle a little bit, but I do think that I don't think it's a concerning thing. I think they're working on things. And even McDermott said they're working on things to see what their offense wants to look like going forward. So when training camp comes, there'll probably be more implementation of, okay, this is what our offense is going to look like during the year. And there'll be some growing pains, but it won't be as many. And they'll have more of a concise kind of targeted effort on certain types of plays and certain types of throws and things like that. So not a super concern there, but just worth noting. Otherwise, I think Josh has looked pretty good from all arrows pointing his direction. It seems like he looks fine. He's coming out of his hand fine. He's even talked about his throwing motion changing a little bit or getting it tighter like it used to be. I noticed that last year as well. His throwing motion, his striding, things like that are longer than they need to be. He needs to get back to 2020 levels and kind of get his game going. So I think that's going to be the case, and I think he'll be fine. And he's working on some stuff too. That could also lead to some miscommunication stuff and some timing issues as far as that goes. Coleman looks great from all reports, but most of the stuff I hear about him happening are 50-50 balls, which we knew he's great at, and him mossing people and stuff. I want to see him win. I don't hear reports of him winning in different ways. Like I said before on previous, I want to see him win with route running. I want to hear about that. And I think they just haven't reported a whole bunch of it because they can't report but so much during minicamp and OTAs, and that could be the issue. But I do want to hear about him winning on different types of routes, and I think that's, I know I've said it a couple times, but it's definitely something that's worth noting that I think that he needs to work on. His movement skills are really good for a guy his size. His feet, his hips, his agility is great. It's something that Gabe Davis never had. So hopefully he can be Gabe Davis with that, making him a little bit better route runner and better hands and things like that. So a higher plus side version of it. Another negative is James Cook's drops. He's had quite a few drops at camp now. I don't really know what's going on with him. He is really good. His main thing out of college was he could catch, and his catch technique and things like that are great. It's just concentration. They need to work on that. He's had multiple balls come off of his hands. Not a good look. Personally, I think Ray Davis was brought in partially because he's a good receiver and that he can relieve Cook if Cook is not performing up to his standard, so to speak. So, but yeah, another good news. Milano's back. That's good. He was a limited participant, but he looked really strong. Didn't look to be limited at all. I think by training camp, he's probably almost a full go, maybe 80-90% at that point. And then by the regular season, he'll be just fine. Dwayne Carter, also big standout, looks really good. Looks to be physical and quick off the line of scrimmage. At a minimum, he's a really good Ed Oliver backup, but I think he can play one tech in a pinch too. He's got a little bit more size than Oliver does, so he can kind of fill two spots if he absolutely needs to. Also, there was mentioned Taylor Rapp has been a standout, and he has really stepped up into his leadership role, the safety room. Mike Edwards has been out, so I think it's basically his room, and Cole Bishop and Cam Lewis and Damar Hamlin, who also want to mention. I'm not a huge Damar Hamlin fan, but Damar Hamlin has been really good all through camp. I think he's really kind of gotten back to his normal routine and his normal cadence. And now we're over a year removed from his devastating injury. And I think now he can kind of flow back in. He has a chance to make the roster, I think, based on how he's played. Another standout is Mitch Trubisky. Looks really good. He's been making throws all over the place. He has been pretty much a standout. I know he's playing second team defense and things like that, but he's looked really, really good. And then Kyer Elam is another one. I don't think I mentioned him, but Kyer Elam has looked fantastic. Maybe he's regaining some of that confidence and form he had as a college player now, and he's finally, the game starting to click for him, hopefully. And then that would be great if we had 3 starting level corners on the team. And Kyer Elam has all the talent in the world to be able to do that, so I'm not overly concerned about him being able to do it. It's a lot of mental stuff, and it seems like he's really performed well by all of the reports that have come out of One Bills Drive this week. So I'm really excited about it. Like I said, there's a couple concerns there with some of the miscommunication stuff. It's just going to have to be a learning process with the new offensive scheme. It's a little bit of different scheme than they've had in the past. I guess it was the same as last year, but it's very different from Dorsey's. And I do believe that we're at a situation where, they're still figuring out what works best for this receiver group and how it's going to look and who's going to step up and who's most successful where. Because of a lot of guys who can are really good at the slot, who have a little bit of flexibility on the outside. Even Keon Coleman, some people say that he's more suited for a big slot player, although I tend to kind of disagree. But they're just trying to figure out where all these pieces go ultimately at the end of the day. So hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully we'll be good. And I think as we see training camp come, we'll see some more positives from the offense. Defense already looks great. Defense is going to be ahead of the offense this time of year anyway, so I wouldn't be super concerned about that. But, going forward, I think, this is a good sign that they are trying new things out and they're trying to put the pieces together. So it's not super surprising that they've had some struggles at this point during minicamp. So anyhow, I thanks everybody for checking in and listening, and I appreciate it. I'll have more videos coming out soon, more frequent. I know the last couple of weeks I have been kind of a little MIA, but a lot going on. So I'll be back on it. It's a slow time of year. I'm going to try to think of some more creative stuff to put out there, but appreciate everybody turning in. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thanks for tuning in.